Hello, welcome to my kitchen. My name is Pedro Arellano Sanchez el Tercero, but you can call me Pedro. My goal is to take fear out of the kitchen and put you in it. See, I believe that anyone can learn how to cook if they have the ganas, that's the willingness to try, and a good teacher. So hopefully you are that anyone, and I'm that teacher. Today, we're going to be making some apple crisp. We're going to get right to it. Going to have 4 medium apples, peeled, cored, and chopped. Now a medium apple, what is a medium apple? Right here, that's peeled already. Just a normal size apple, not a big apple. Now, I already have done the majority of that work, but I did want to do one last one with you because some of you find it maybe frustrating to core an apple. Here's the answer. It'll core it and slice it in one shot. So I'm just going to take this. I think everyone should have one of these. Beautiful. Who's going to be cooking with apples? And these are great for apples if you make like a caramel dip. And it just cuts them right away. Perfect for caramel dips also. But so now it's sliced. So it takes most of the work out. I'm just going to line up maybe 3 of them. Cut them into like 3 pieces. And that's about how big I want them. Don't stress out too much about the size of it. Just cut each slice in about 3 slices. Okay? Good. That's all the apples. Now, I'm going to go on to the sugar. I'm going to use my scale again to save time. And I'm going to measure the sugar using half a cup of white sugar, which is 3.5 ounces if some of you do decide to go get a scale. Otherwise, use a cup and level it with the sugar using 3.5 ounces. My wife told me to slow down. I was all charged up. I was excited about bringing another video for you guys. Okay, that's half a cup of sugar. Now I'm going to take the cinnamon. Going to have my ingredients left to right. I'm going to get 1 rounded teaspoon of cinnamon. Now there are recipes out there with as much as a tablespoon of cinnamon. I don't really care for that. I like the apples to really be the star of the show. But you're definitely welcome to do a tablespoon or 2 teaspoons. Actually, I have now a bunch of variations at the end of the recipe on the blog. And you can kind of make it your own with your own recipes. I have a bunch of ideas in there for 4 variations. Alright, I got my basically cinnamon sugar here I'm making. In fact, you could just take this same exact sugar, use it for your toast or whatever, and make your own cinnamon sugar instead of buying cinnamon sugar. Because fresh cinnamon is better. This cinnamon happens to be from Penzeys, and you can go to penzeys.com and get that. Okay, that's mixed up. So I'm going to take my apples that were already ready to go. I'm just going to dump all that sugar in there. And I'm going to toss it with my spatula. And I'm going to toss it until the apples are just totally coated evenly with that cinnamon sugar. I'm going to do this first just because I want, well shoot, because I love the smell of it. I just want to mix it up to have this smell going on as you're baking it. I mean, it literally smells like perfume. It's just beautiful. I'm using 4 different apples here. You can use just 1 apple, Macintosh, or whatever kind of apple you like for baking. I would recommend at least 2 different kinds, because everything you cook is just, it's everything added up that you're putting into it. So if you use just 1 apple, you get 1 apple flavor. If you use 2 apples, you're getting more complexity in the flavor. So, all right, so the apples are ready. Now we're going to go on to the crumble, the crisp mix. And here we have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I'm going to measure this, and if you remember from the first episode, I'm going to aerate the flour. I'm going to take a scoop and just kind of make circular motions in the flour. Scoop the flour into the cup. And then I'm going to level it with my knife, and I'll use my knife here. It's 1 cup of flour. Measured. Normally I would just use my scale. And I'm going to have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Some of you may be going salt in a dessert. It'll bring out the flavors of everything, and it's just a 1/4 teaspoon, but trust me on the salt, it makes a big difference. So again, I'm going to toss that with my fork. I want to make sure the salt is evenly distributed. Good. Gonna add my oats. This is already pre-weighed. I know how much I have here. That's 1 cup of oats. And we're gonna add a cup of brown sugar. If you're gonna use brown sugar, you're gonna measure the spoon and a cup, which is the big majority of you. Make sure that you're packing that brown sugar down into the cup. All right. I'm gonna measure it with my scale. And that is 8 ounces of brown sugar. When I got all my ingredients here, I'm just going to mix them up. And you can go ahead and just use your hands. That's 1 cup of brown sugar. You can use your hands, you can use a fork. Just going to toss it all with a fork here. It's okay to have lumps, because those lumps are mostly going to be the brown sugar, and the brown sugar is going to melt when it's in the oven. And even if there is maybe a little ball or chunk left or two, that's going to be basically a ball of caramel in the end. And who doesn't love balls of caramel? So, alright, so that is mixed up. Now I have my butter, which I've already melted, and I've already put the vanilla in, and that's my homemade vanilla. You can buy regular vanilla or even imitation vanilla if you like. That is 1 stick of butter melted and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So just going to throw that in there in the Crumbl Crisp mix. I'm going to mix that up until it's evenly wet. Should all be wet. Oops, I'm losing stuff. It's going to take a little bit to get everything all wet, but the oatmeal is going to add basically like a kind of some chewiness to the crisp. So you've got the crispness baking and also a little bit of chewiness, and it's just super yummy. Looks like we're evenly wet here. This is a really quick recipe. Good or not. I have my 8x8 pan. You can use a 9x9 pan even. I'm going to spray it really generously. This is going to be pretty sticky when it bakes. So again, over the sink. I'm going to be real generous. Okay. I'm going to take about half of this mixture, and I'm basically just going to make a layer of the Crumbl mix. Okay. Good. All of my apples. Put in the apples. I'm using a spatula so I can get all that yummy mix in there. Spatulas are gonna let you do that versus like just a metal spoon. Alright. Good. My oven was already preheating to 350, and it looks like it's ready, which is good because I'm just about ready. Alright, here we go. Leveled. And the rest of the crisp Crumbl mix. Kind of spread it evenly. Done. Gonna put it in the oven for how long? For 40 to 45 minutes. Don't want to go a whole lot longer than that, or the apples are the sugar will start to caramelize and start to get hard actually. So 40 to 45 minutes at 350 degrees. Enjoy with ice cream, whipped cream just by itself. You're gonna love it. Thanks for baking with me.